Hey everyone, me Kevin here with your morning stimulus update. The Democratic leadership in the House of Representatives is anticipating releasing their $2.3 to $2.4 trillion plan within the coming days, with a vote possibly as early as Wednesday. However, a vote could actually be a bad thing. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. Trump is also sending $200 cards to 33 million Americans, and the congressional discharge petition to override Nancy Pelosi's power is expected to be filed today. Let's explain exactly what's going on here and more. Also, quick note, Webull sent me an email and they said now they're changing their formula again. Now they're going to do 2 free stocks again. If you sign up for Webull, you deposit $100. They'll now give you 2 free stocks worth at least $8 and up to $1,600. That means if you deposit $100, you should get 2 free stocks worth at minimum $16 and potentially up to $1,600. According to numerous Capitol Hill reports, the Democratic leadership expects to release their stimulus plan very soon and use this to negotiate with Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, both of whom have clamored for additional stimulus money. Remember, Steve Mnuchin has already blatantly supported up to $1.5 trillion in additional stimulus. Mark Meadows, a person that a lot of people try to portray as somebody who's highly anti-debt and doesn't want to do stimulus, has applauded the Problem Solvers Caucus proposal plan with funding for between $1.5 to $1.9 trillion. That is, even individuals who are generally anti-debt and the leadership within the White House realize that additional stimulus is necessary and needed. It's just a matter of striking a deal with Democratic leaders. And this is a sharp U-turn for Mark Meadows, who again is usually very anti-debt. But why then would a vote be a bad thing? Why would I say that a vote on the Democratic plan would be a bad thing? Well, to understand this, we have to focus on what House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer says. Steny Hoyer believes that we have to have a plan that we can negotiate with the White House. So once we actually have a formalized plan, and that the White House then agrees to, or maybe they take out their, sharpen their pencil and go, no, we don't want that, we want this, and blah, blah, blah. They do their stuff. Then we can actually use that to rally Republicans. If the House of Representatives instead says, here's our plan, we're going to vote on it on Wednesday without the White House support, guess what's going to happen to the bill? Dead on arrival. Because the only way that Democrats can expect to get a compromise plan through is if they strike a deal with the White House, and then the White House rallies Republicans. That's the way it's gonna happen. Republicans won't strike a deal with Democrats. Only the White House is expected to have that potential right now, and then get Republicans on board. So if you hear we're voting without the White House on board, bad news. If you hear a plan comes out and negotiations are progressing between Mnuchin, Meadows, and the White House and Pelosi and Hoyer, that's very good news. So that's what we're working on. So usually when we hear, oh, another proposal, it's bad, it sucks, it's stupid, because, anyone in Congress can put in a proposal. Ro Khanna, the guy who submitted the proposal, one of the people with Tim Ryan, who submitted the $2,000 per month until the pandemic's over plan, the Money for the People's Act, he just introduced another proposal saying that Supreme Court justices should have their term limits be 18 years rather than basically having no term limit, basically a lifetime term. These bills don't often go anywhere. They're seen as messaging bills. However, a plan coming from the Democratic leadership for negotiations with the White House, in my opinion, is the best chance we have in actually seeing a White House and Republican and Democratic stimulus proposal. So to be clear, if we see a plan verbally negotiated, good. If we see a plan that gets voted on without the White House approving it, bad. And yes, this negotiation is frustratingly complicated, and you'd think that Congress would be much more on board with trying to help the American people. But right now, it's House leaders that have to strike a deal with the White House. At the same time, Republicans are planning to file their discharge petition today, and Nancy Pelosi has canceled all votes in the House today to try to block this discharge petition. Remember, the discharge petition would allow Republicans in the House the power to vote on a standalone paycheck protection bill that if they get 20 Democrats on board with, they could send to the Senate and get more PPP funding through. However, Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer worry that this is just going to undermine their negotiation with their plan in the White House. The filing today could, however, be what pressures Nancy Pelosi to finally release this $2.3 to $2.4 trillion stimulus package we're waiting for. On unemployment, Florida and Idaho will not receive their full 6 weeks of unemployment pay as money in the FEMA fund has almost dried up. Wisconsin still has not released any money. And there are other states, as well as Wisconsin, who have not released other money, or any money for that matter. Trump is also expecting to send $200 discount cards to help elderly Americans offset the costs of prescription drugs. These cards are expected to go to 33 million Americans in October, right before the election. The details of this are still in the works in terms of who exactly would qualify. On COVID, less than 100 children and teenagers have died from COVID out of 200,000 deaths in this country. This means children are much more likely to die from drowning, fires, or homicide than COVID, which is really odd and baffling the medical community. Dr. Fauci believes that the odds are that the vast majority of our population in the United States will not be vaccinated by the end of the year. On COVID cases, yesterday we ticked back up to 42,900 cases. Stocks are recovering from their lows earlier this week. In fact, we finally have a little bit of this resurgence in tech slightly again. We've got Peloton up almost 9%. We've got Lemonade up about 5%. Rocket Mortgage, Tesla up 3.5%. Nvidia, Uber, Etsy, Redfin, all finally recovering some of the losses that we've had earlier. While at the same time, Nike is coming off its highs after its smashed earnings, and we've got some of the usual suspects falling behind, like the recovery sector, the airlines, Delta, and the banks suffering more. Well, there you have it, folks. Thank you so very much for watching. Get your 2 free stocks with Webull down below. Check out the course. Get your life insurance in as little as 5 minutes. Remember, the link is down below. You don't have to talk to any brokers. You just use your phone, and boom, you Apple Pay for it or Android Pay for it, and you're done. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.